What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try this again. And I'm hoping that everything works out this time because I'm a little bit salty because earlier today I did like an hour and 15 and everything that I was talking about is now all over YouTube and everything. And I kind of feel like I was out ahead of it and you couldn't understand what I was saying. So I learned a lesson today about making sure that every time I go on air, I've got to check the Rodecaster and make sure that I've got decent audio, and I've got to check the camera, which I just did, and everything was fine. So I hope that you're not hearing me sound like a robot like I did earlier. I felt like shit over that because I sat there and babbled for an hour and 15 minutes, sounding like, C-3PO or whatever. Lame. But the whole story's out there now, and I guess I can just reiterate what I was on with it earlier, and I don't really want to talk about it too much because it's already out there. There's just the whole thing that happened in Texas. And then in correlation to what happened in Buffalo, but then also the fact that there's been, numerous other mass shootings. There was like 4 the day that the Buffalo thing happened. And what I had to say and still have to say about the Buffalo shooting is, just number one, this shit is just, it's a symptom of a sick society. And I don't know why this started happening in like 1999. As far as I know, that was the first, it was April 20th, 99. I believe that was the date. Because I was playing golf with my buddy Gary and only Vietnamese dude I've ever known named Gary Jones. What up, Gary? I haven't seen that dude forever. Good guy, man. But anyway, we got done playing and we got in his car, and that's like I was saying on the podcast earlier, I don't think anybody tried to listen to it because I sounded like it's all tinny and which pissed me off because I kind of got, how it goes. I get going and, I thought it was a pretty good podcast, and then I went back to just, I usually don't re-listen to them, but I go back and after it airs, I go back and I'll listen for like the first 15 seconds, or I'll listen through the song and just listen to the intro just to make sure everything sounds okay. And I turned that on this morning, and after I got done, I was just like, son of a bitch. And so I thought, well, maybe it came through the computer okay. Maybe the audio's still right. Nope. I thought, okay, maybe the Rodecaster picked it. Nope. So, I never changed any levels. All I had to do, I unplugged the Rodecaster. I turned it off, unplugged it, rinse and repeat. Plugged it all back in, turned it on, did a test run. Everything was fine. It's computers, I guess, huh? I don't know. Anyhow, so here we are. Picking up where we left off. Sorry I'm such a dirtbag right now. I've been out a dirtbag on my dirt bike, and then I was out there playing lumberjack with one of my trees out front that I've been trying to cut down. That's not my area of expertise. I can do a lot of things. I can still do this. I'm getting it. I'm getting there, but I'm not fast because every move. When you're cutting down a big ass tree, you kind of got to, you can't just go bananas. I'm trying to make sure that I'm making the right move. When you're falling big ass limbs and shit, like, number one, I don't want to smash like my truck in. I don't want to smash the roof of the house in. I don't want to fuck up the neighbor's yard. So, I've been doing my homework, but it's been a learning experience, which is cool. It's always good to learn something new. And that's one of my mottos as well. Learn something new every day. So I learned something new today, and it worked out. And I'm still here. I didn't lose an eyeball or a limb or fall off a ladder or get cut my foot off with a chainsaw or anything like that. So, hey, bad podcast, but the tree, most of it's down. I'll have the rest of it down tomorrow. So, there's good and there's bad. There's ups, there's downs. There's happy, there's joy. Anyway, what I was kind of talking about, and I've been, the shooting down there in Texas, both of them really got to me. And not for different reasons or anything like that. The one in Buffalo, I've heard some crazy things. You'd never know what to believe. But I mean, I've heard some of the people that were there that just said that that kid, the tactical precision that he had with. I mean, I watched the thing when it started, when he pulled in the parking lot. It would be like if you pulled into a Walmart parking lot and you went to like the street side of the parking lot. That's kind of what he did. He pulled in, he goes back there, he says some goofy shit to himself. He's got the camera rolling, like he gloves up and shit, and then he turns around and he pulls up right in front of the Tops grocery store, and he gets out, and there's a white lady walking, just unsuspecting as hell, doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. He pops out the door, bam, one shot, kill shot. She died. And then apparently he went inside, and I mean, from one of the, I don't even like to even talk about it, but they just said that the precision that this guy had, it was just like that. It didn't seem right. And to me it sounded a lot like what happened with that Stephen Paddock in Vegas in, what year was that? Was that October of 2017? I believe that was what the year that was, at that country music festival, and he's at the Mandalay Bay. And the crazy thing about that is the people that came out and said that they heard two gunmen, many of them that did that like with interviews and shit, they ended up dead in weird circumstances. And they didn't surface with the footage of that guy till like over a year later. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Vegas. I used to live in Reno. I know how those casinos are. They've got footage of everything in there. And then the one guy that got, the security dude or whatever, the first guy there that got shot, is supposed, allegedly, he just disappeared. And then he comes back and he's like on Ellen's show. Like he got shot and he disappeared. Like he went, I don't even know what was up with that. But, and then when the footage comes out, there's that guy, and he's just loading cases and cases and cases onto one of those, like, I don't know what you want to call it. I guess the cart at a hotel where you put your luggage, the cart like that the bellhop will throw all your luggage on and take you up to your room. And he day after day, he's making repeated trips, and he's using a service elevator. They don't let you use a service elevator. It doesn't even matter if you're a fucking high roller. They're not going to let you do that. And there's damn sure going to be some suspicion about that. There's got to be somebody in the cage that's watching that shit, because they have people in a control room. I mean, they see everything you do in there. I mean, they'll do shit like ask employees just to check how honest they are. They'll ask them, have you ever taken anything from here? And they want you to be totally honest. And say they saw you take a pen, and you don't say something, then you're on blast. So that whole thing was messed up. But the one in Buffalo was, that was pretty screwed up. I mean, the kid was in there playing like he was he was acting like he was just a vagrant. And they threw him out of the place, out of that Tops. So he traveled 2 hours twice, and the second time he just shows up. And then apparently, the thing with this one, this is the one with that incident that really gets me, is the fact that the dude had a supposed manifesto, and that they hid it. And I saw the first shot that was, and it was, you never want to see that. But yet it's weird how we're numb to watching the shit happen if it's overseas. If it's happening in a different country, then, I mean, we can watch, they can put that shit on the news and have bodies strewn all about, and they put it out there because it's not in the United States, I guess. I mean, I think that a lot of people in the United States, they have a perception of things that happen in other countries like they're not real people, right? Because we have the flag song and we sing Lee Greenwood and we're proud to be an American. And, I think that there's a weird perception of life in other countries from a lot of the people here, because it doesn't seem to affect people like it does here. Like when it happens here in the nobody I knew anybody in Uvalde, Texas. I didn't know anybody there. I don't know anybody that probably did know anybody there. Maybe I do. I don't know. But that's not like it hits. It's not like it hits like home, like it's people you know. But it's in the United States, and so it's disturbing and horrific. And, everybody gets wound up about it. But the thing is, the first kid, the kid in Buffalo, supposedly wrote like 106, 108 page manifesto. Can't find it. Maybe you can find it on the dark web. I'm sure you can. You can probably find a lot of shit like that if it exists. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it doesn't, because I don't know, because I haven't seen it. They say that it does, but guess what? How many times have you been lied to by media and government this last couple of years? Sorry, I'm thirsty. I've been out there climbing around, winging a chainsaw around. But we've been lied to our whole lives. Really, this whole country is a lie. Our money is a lie. Our banking system is a lie. We call it capitalism, but it's not capitalism. It's crony capitalism. It's a lie. We live in an oligarchy. Everybody wants to call it a democracy. It's not a democracy. How many of you out there had a say in the $40 billion that went to Ukraine that didn't go to Ukraine? How many earmarks were on that? Did anybody bother reading where the money was going? Anybody? Bueller. Right off the bat, it was like 19.6 billion is going to the DOD. Okay. Out of the whole 40 billion, I believe there was 6 billion that was earmarked for like infrastructure, things that, helping people in Ukraine that had their homes blown up or whatever kind of shit that they've gone through. 6 billion. And this is from Quid Pro Joe. Anybody remember Quid Pro Joe? Do you remember the general attorney from Ukraine that was fired when Quid Pro Joe was serving as vice president, and they were going to do a investigation into his son? And he told him, if you don't fire this guy that's going to do this investigation, then you're not getting your $1 billion. You've all heard him. You've all seen it. And he goes, well, son of a bitch. They fired him. I can pull that up for you. And that's what Trump was impeached upon, was doing that. That's why they impeached him for doing what Joe Biden. It's funny because they impeached him and accused him of everything that they were doing. If anybody cares to notice, they accused him of Russian collusion. Well, guess what? Come out now. Who was doing the Russian collusion? I've been saying it the whole time. Most people I know have been saying it the whole time, that it was Hillary. We all knew she was the one that paid for the Steele dossier. And yet you still got people like Rachel Maddow and all these idiots that everything, Russia, they still think it's a thing. It was Hillary. And they don't even want to, they just, blinders on, just like this. It couldn't have been her. She was ready to shatter the glass ceiling. I think she lost her glass slipper and never found it again. I don't know. I mean, everybody knew that whole thing was a lie. It always happens. Within 15 minutes, that thing does this. God damn it. Cannon, you suck. It was funny, too, like the next day, she's out there supposedly walking, having a quiet walk in the woods. And she runs into some female. And the female, after the walk, she gets on social media. Oh, my God, I just ran into Hillary Clinton. Oh, what an inspiration. How coincidental that would happen today. Turns out, like, this girl was she was a Clinton staffer. That was all set up. The day after, she set something up like that. So tell me that the whole thing wasn't orchestrated. I mean, she snubbed Bernie out of the whole thing. And he's such a weak ass that he just, okay, well, 1% of the 10% of the 1%. You need to put your vote for Hillary because we can't have this orange man over here because he's a bad man. He did the same thing in the last election. When they asked him, do you think Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump? Oh, well, Joe and I are old friends. We go back. I think if there's somebody in a position that could beat Donald Trump, Joe Biden's our man. Instead of saying, no, I do not believe so, but I believe if you vote for me as your candidate and your nominee, that I could go in and beat Donald Trump. I mean, isn't that how you should approach that? If you're a candidate for the presidency and somebody asks you if your opponent from your party is going to beat him, wouldn't you say, no, but I could? He was ready to take the fall from jump. Jumped right on that Hillary. I mean, he did more campaigning for Hillary than Hillary did for Hillary. That's what's crazy. And now it's coming out that she was the one that was behind it all. She was the one that gave Robbie Mook the okay to release the whole Steele dossier and all that shit. And send Sussman into the FBI and tell the FBI that there was a private server that Trump had that was connected to Alpha Bank in Russia. Nope. Didn't happen. Guess who Sussman was getting paid like $500,000 for like 30-minute speeches to Russian banks? Would that have been Slick Willie? Who gave 20% of our uranium to Russia? It's so funny that, and then you got Biden. I mean, and this just keeps getting better. You know, they're going to push it all under the rug like they always do. He's going to sail off into the sunset if he makes it to 4 years. I don't know if he will, if he won't. I don't even know if he's alive. He could just be a sock puppet. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I've never seen anybody walk like that. He does that monster mash. Like, he walks like fucking Herman Munster. You guys have seen it, right? He does that, picking them up, putting them down. I know he's not high stepping it, but he's not high stepping it. And he's got them pants on that are kind of like halfway between high waters and not high waters. And those horse teeth. It's like it's not like he's chewing tobacco, but it's like he's got cotton balls in his lips or something. Maybe is that Botox? What kind of 80-year-old man gets plastic surgery anyways? That's what everybody says. Oh, the reason he doesn't look the same is because he had plastic surgery. It's like, I can't even imagine an 80-year-old man that I know that would be willing to go do that. 80-year-old women, yeah, they want to go look like E.T. I mean, I was watching that program the other day about failed plastic surgery, and holy cow, I didn't realize how many bad ones there were out there. Oh, my God. Some of these people are like, you thought Michael Jackson was fucked up? You ought to see some of these people. They're jacked up. I mean, crazy looking. Like these, like an upper lip, like, I mean, sticking out past the nose and just all puffed. I mean, like, you know, like somebody just socked the shit out of them over and over. I've never seen a fat lip like that. I'm trying to remember. There's celebrities that I don't even know. Celebrities that aren't celebrities. I'll see if I can find it. I don't know. See, here I go, getting off on a tangent. And maybe it's for the better. Maybe it's better to go off on a tangent instead of get into this whole thing in Texas. But I'm just going to go into it right now for just a minute, and then we're going to cut out of it. That whole incident went on from, I want to say it was like 11:43 a.m. till like 1:06. That dude got into an unlocked door at that school. Okay, he crashes his truck into what looks to be like an irrigation canal that didn't have any water in it. The truck tires are splayed out, okay? Like somebody picked it up with a crane and dropped it like 40 feet to the ground. It didn't look like it was that big of a drop. I mean, yeah, it could have messed the truck up, but the whole front end was mashed in. If anybody saw it, and I think 3 out of the 4 tires had, the axles broken, and the tires were splayed out like almost on the ground. So the guy gets out and exchanges gunfire. That was the initial story. The cops were following him. He shot. Okay, the guy shot his grandmother in the face. Now he put it on social media that he was going to shoot his grandmother in the face. It was in these different chat rooms I've never heard of, Yobu or Jobu or some shit like that. I mean, he was putting it out there. He had Instagram posts with his firearms that he had purchased within, I think, 3 days of each other. I think one was on the 17th and one was on the 20th of May. No, that's not right. Yes, it is right. That's exactly right. I'm sitting there getting confused between the mass shootings. How pathetic is that? So he puts out the pictures of the guns. He buys 375 rounds of ammo. Now, at the gun store, okay, listen, I'm straight up calling some bullshit on pretty much everybody that was involved with this kid, because you'd see pictures of this dude. If you guys seen pictures of this guy, this dude has nothing but bad juju written all over him. I mean, I can tell just from an internet picture of this cat. I mean, this dude was not keeping it together. I mean, you can tell his name was Salvador Rolando Ramos. Like my memory. 18 years old. He also went to school at the school that he shot up, and his grandmother, who he shot in the face, also worked there. Pretty nifty, huh? Let's see some pictures of this character. I don't want to even, it doesn't matter. He's dead. Who gives a shit? I won't put any pictures up of that Buffalo guy because I don't even want to perpetuate his dumb ass. But, all right, you want to talk about, look at this fucking kid. I mean, he almost looks like fucking Michael Jackson, man. Like, nothing here. That's crazy. So now I can't even get to a picture of him. See, the things keep getting weirder with this fucking shit. Things just disappear. Let's see if I can find a picture of him here. And then he looks an awful lot like that other kid. I'm not pulling up God damn it. I really don't want to pull a picture up of that other kid. Because I don't want to give him any kind of anything. I'm just pretend like he's nobody. So, hang on a second. I hope everything's sounding okay. I hope I don't sound like a goddamn robot right now. So, all right, here's this kid. I'm trying to zoom in on this. Probably won't let me. Let's see. So the police stood outside. Here's my issue. All right, there he is. I'm not going to play the video. There he is. Excuse me. There's your guy. He's got an Instagram photo this was obviously, I don't know when this happened. I don't have any time frame. It's really hard to find a time frame on this thing. The fact that it went on for so long, though, is really bothersome to me. It's really bothersome that there were people, they'd put it out that the school had been locked down, that there was gunfire, and parents are showing up. And the police are calming, they're trying to calm them, and the parents are going, get in there. Why don't you go in there? They're hearing shots go off. The guy blockades himself somehow into a 4th grade classroom and kills 19 of those kids and 2 teachers. And from what I understand, the 2 classrooms were connected. And so he somehow blockaded himself in there. And so you have all these police. And then a guy that works for Border Patrol pulls up. And I can just see this. He's probably looking at them like, what the fuck is wrong with you fucking clowns? And probably just went in there and was like, like, he's probably seen some shit working on the border. He's probably like, fuck this, I'm not letting this happen. He goes in there and takes the guy out. Border Patrol did it. Not the cops there. And then the one guy that gets up and he spiels. I heard him with his little story just a little while ago while I was out working on some saws and shit. And I mean, he tried to completely change the narrative. Now, the narrative has changed every time that I've heard it. That's the other thing. That's what's crazy about this story, because every single time I hear it from a different source, it's changed. I don't get it. I do not understand. I mean, typically when you have one of these incidents, even the Buffalo one. I mean, it really, the narrative, the storyline, the way that it went down, it pretty much stayed, very similar. I mean, obviously you're going to have new information as the story goes along, but this one, I've never seen anything where the information has just changed that much from story to story. It's crazy. I mean, it makes you wonder what the fuck is going on. The kid went to school there, supposedly. I mean, they said he looked like he was wearing body armor, but he didn't have, he didn't have any of the, I guess, what do you call it, plates. Didn't have any plates. I don't know. And then the testimony from a number of individuals that I heard about the Buffalo thing, about how tactical that guy was, how precise he was. For an 18-year-old kid, I mean, I suppose maybe he's been practicing for a long time. This kid, he lived with his grandma. We've heard nothing about the parents. We don't know where his parents are. We don't know if they're on the other side of the border, because this town is 54 miles from the United States-Mexico border. Maybe his parents are still in Mexico, and he lives with his grandma, who he shot in the face. And I mean, he said some crazy, goofy shit to this girl in Germany from whatever chat room or whatever that he was on. Yobu. I've never heard of it. Sorry. I mean, I don't even know how to use crap chat, for fuck's sake. I don't obviously know how to do a podcast either, because the one I did earlier turned out like C3PO. But he'd put Instagram posts out, this kid had, and he talked about it. I mean, there were flags up all over the place. I mean, the kid buys 2 guns in 3 days. Why does he need a second one? I mean, and I'm not saying that. I mean, the guys at the gun shop were probably doing what they legally were, had to do. The kid background probably came back and, but I mean, if you were at the gun shop and a kid comes in and buys one, and then he buys one 3 days later, same kid. First of all, where's he getting the money? Okay. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows what the price is on an AR-15, but they're not cheap. They are not cheap. They are expensive. So for him to buy 2 of them in 3 days and then 375 rounds of ammo, that's a lot of ammo. And ammo's kind of, from what I don't know, because I can't buy it or have a firearm. I watched this shit the other day with this Antifa asshole literally firing a gun at a family. And you know what he got? Probation. Me, I walk into a room where there's a gun being brandished on 2 people that I don't fucking know, and it just so happens to be my gun that I left in my duffel bag when I went to the store. Never brandished it on anybody, never threatened anybody with it, nothing. I'd go to federal prison. Antifa shoots at a family. Probation. God damn it, I wish I'd had that fucking judge. I mean, oh fucking well, can't Monday morning quarterback it, but it's kind of this country is such a stupid, fucked up mess. There's double standards everywhere along the line. I mean, that same year that I got sentenced, right? Remember Gilbert Arenas that played basketball? Right? He gets hit up with, he's got a firearm with him in the Washington Wizards locker room. You're not allowed to have a handgun in D.C. What's he get? 2 months in halfway house that he probably never went to. It was probably about the same as Epstein's halfway house, or like Pablo Escobar's jail term that he did in his own mansion. Just skip running his empire. It's crazy the double standard that we have. I mean, it's just nuts. And it's all about, different political groups and, identity politics, and just, it's like I've said before, man, had assistant U.S. attorney. The day I was getting, she goes, well, it looks like you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, Mr. File. I said, okay, I'm happy to hear that you understand that. So what are we looking at? Maybe probation? And it's just, no, I just started this job. I need convictions, 60 months. I'm like, what? Like you just said, she didn't care. She didn't care about me. She said that to me, but then she just turned and her career was more important than the truth. And now if I were to ever even get all that shit to go away, to reinstate my rights, I would have to have a presidential pardon, because I am a violent federal felon. Can I be violent? Sure. But not for the wrong reasons. I've had to be violent. Sometimes you have to. It's part of it. Do I like doing that? Not really. No, not really. But my problem is I mean, when I get put in that situation, and then when it kicks off, I don't have any mechanism to stop it. I see red. I've never had any training or anything like that. I mean, other than just, on the street, but I don't know what happens, but it turns ugly. And really, I black out. And I don't even know what happens, But in my situation with that, I mean, that's not even what happened. But this, then you see Antifa shooting at people, and they just get to go. Then you got these people burning down cities and shit, and they just get to go in and go out of the jails and no bail, like that Daryl Brooks. I'm sorry, folks. Daryl Brooks was a fucking racist. He's a racist, straight up. You want to call Kyle Rittenhouse a racist? Then why not? Okay, then you better call Daryl Brooks a goddamn racist, because that motherfucker, he ran his old lady over a couple of days prior to that. He hit her in the face and ran her over with a vehicle. So he practiced. He was doing practice runs, right? He was mad about the Rittenhouse thing. Now, for the life of me, I cannot understand why anybody would say that the Rittenhouse thing had a goddamn thing to do with race. Rittenhouse shot a fucking child rapist, and he shot a woman beater piece of shit that had been in and out of prison. And then the other guy, the Grosskreutz guy, comes up to him, and he's, selling wolf tickets, and then all of a sudden pulls out the piece. Well, he's had firearms charges. He shouldn't have even had a gun. And he pulls out a piece, and Rittenhouse shoots him and blows his bicep off, but he doesn't fire another shot on the guy, when he very well could have. He showed restraint. He incapacitated the dude, and then he went and tried to turn himself into police. All three of those dudes were white. He didn't perpetuate any kind of violence. He was there to help people with medical situations, and he brought a firearm with him because he thought he might need it because it was violent. People were burning car lots. He'd been asked to show up and help these guys with their car lots because they burned one of them down. Should he have even been there? Probably not, but that's a different argument. The fact of the matter is the same thing. You can't Monday morning quarterback it, but he had the firearm. He was within the legal right to have it. He didn't cross state lines with it. He was told by this child molester, this guy raped 9-year-old kids, okay? He'd just gotten out of prison for raping babies, okay? Let's get that straight, okay? JoJo, we're not talking about a pillar of a community. We're talking about a piece of shit that should have never got out of prison. Sorry. Not sorry. The guy was a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. The guy was a child molested piece of shit. He tells Rittenhouse the night before, if he sees him again, he's going to fucking kill him. The next night, he sees him. He corners him. He tries to take his firearm. Rittenhouse shoots him. There's another big, tall, skinny, old motherfucking white dude with this JoJo guy. He fires off some shots. Whatever happened to him? Nothing. Nothing. We hear his name and the whole thing. Nothing happens to him. But all of a sudden, this JoJo is made out to be some kind of a fucking martyr. He was out there yelling the N-word in the middle of the street. Did anybody in the black community hear that? I mean, I heard him say, I cringed when I heard that stupid little shit say that. I mean, I wanted to go over there and beat the fucking piss out of that guy. So he shoots that guy. He's got that tall, goofy fucker that's got a handgun. And so now Rittenhouse is on the run because he's got a mob. They're yelling, brain him, fucking get him, get him, get him. And that other fucking dickhead, that Anthony Huber, or whatever his name is, comes up and hits him with a skateboard. The edge of the skateboard, like this. Dude, you hit somebody with, you swing the flat. We've talked about this. You swing that edge at somebody. You hit somebody in the neck with the edge of that skateboard or in a kneecap or anywhere. If you get them good with that, you're going to put a hurting on them. Rittenhouse fires one round into the chest, kills him. Takes off. Then here comes Mr. Gabe fucking whatever, Grosskreutz. however you say that, I don't know, one of those German, Wisconsin names that I can't pronounce. That guy comes up on him, starts acting like he's talking to him, and then all of a sudden he pulls out a hand cannon. The kid sees that. He's already killed 2 people, and he's trying to get the hell out, shoots him in the bicep, takes off running, finds a cop. The cop just like poo-poos him. Then he gets, everybody thinks, oh, he's a racist. No. You know who the racist was? Daryl Brooks was the racist. He was the one that went to Waukesha, and in a neighborhood that he, in a place where he knew was predominantly white, during a Christmas parade of all things. A couple days after he'd ran his own child's mother over at the gas station with his vehicle. His social media was full of, he was talking about beating the shit out of 80-year-old white people. I don't care. Just be, the guy prostituted out an underage girl in Vegas. She was 15. He got her pregnant. He was an adult. Okay. What's that? To me, that's rape. It's child molestation. It's, the dude should have been locked up. And then he's out on $1,000 bail. And he goes and he runs down 40-some people and kills 6 of them. In a place that is obviously a white area. And all of his social, he goes in and cries, sobbing. And then you have Ahmaud Arbery. And where was the story on that? Nobody really heard anything about that. This is a black gentleman in his 20s that happens to be out jogging, and he goes by this building that is under construction. And don't quote me on this, but I believe that he had studied architecture and he had an interest in it. And so it was later, nobody was on the site, and he wanted to just see what was going on. So he walks in there and he's looking around, just checking it out, like, looking at the architecture, looking at the way that, looking at the building. And he had what are their names? McDonald, and there was one other guy. Anyway, they all got life, but they killed the guy, but there was nothing about it. That was one of those where it was like, there was nothing about it. It was all about the Rittenhouse killing a child molester, a wife beater, and a guy that had been in trouble already for firearms and drinking and acting like a jackass. And the guy was a fucking medic. That's what's crazy about it. That dude was a medic. He should have been out there doing what Rittenhouse was doing, trying to offer medical assistance to people. Instead, he's packing heat and trying to be Mr. Vigilante. Rittenhouse wasn't trying to be a vigilante, was it? If I say kids' parents, it's not for me to judge. Everything the kid did was within the law. Wasn't the most intelligent decision. I'm sure if you were to ask him today, he would probably agree that it probably wasn't something that he would do again. We all make those kind of mistakes. We all put ourselves in positions like that. And that's why I relayed my story a little bit, because same thing happened to me. And I took responsibility because it was my decision to trust somebody that I shouldn't have, I could have sat there and whined and sniveled about it, and, what good does that do? And I'm not whining and sniveling about it now. It's over. It's done. I don't, whatever. It is what it is. I would certainly like to be able to have a safe in my home that had some kind of, self-defense mechanism in it. I've figured out other ways that are legal. I think I'm going to get one of those Birna pepper ball launchers. What is what they call them? They run on CO2. They look pretty cool. They shoot a 50 caliber ball full of pepper spray. But they're non-lethal. Leave a huge welt. It hits you and blow up with the pepper spray. I've only inhaled that one time, and it was just a little bit of it. That shit's nasty. But anyhow, so let's go back to the Texas thing. So this kid goes in that school, right? Crashes the truck, has an altercation, has a little bit of a firefight with the police. He's in what appears to be tactical body armor. Come to find out, it had no plates in it. and he's got an AR-15, from what I understand, just one, and then they said he had a hand cannon as well. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if he had a Glock, 40 cal Smith & Wesson. I don't know what he had. It's all muddled up. He goes in through the teacher's entrance, but first he runs into like what would be considered probably a resource officer, and he shoots him, wounds him, and he goes in through the teacher's entrance. So then he gains access to his school. Now it takes a certain amount of time before it's announced that the school has been put on lockdown, that shots have been fired. There's a gunman. He barricades himself apparently in this room. They have to use this. That's according to the law or whatever. The staff has to use their key to open the door. Are you shitting me? If my kid was in there, those motherfuckers had better shoot me, because I'm going in after that guy. If I'm hearing gunshots in there where my kid's at, I don't give a fuck. I'm going in. It's probably about what that border guard did. I don't give a shit. I'm not scared to die. I don't care. I mean, if I went out today or whatever, I'd have no regrets and be just, obviously I wouldn't have a choice but to be fine with it, but really it's nothing I'm scared of. So it was really just a weird thing that these cops sit outside for that long. This guy was in there for 40 some minutes. The whole episode, until they declared, and then they said he was in custody, but the guy had already shot him. He was already dead. And then they had these guys running around like there was a second gunman or something. Like these, I see all these these SWAT looking dudes running around the school. Like there wasn't another guy. There wasn't anybody else. It wasn't like this was some orchestrated plan with a bunch of. The guy shot his grandmother in the face. He told everybody he was going to do that, and he twisted. I'm thinking he was on medication. I'm thinking he was on psychotropic meds. I'm thinking he probably had been seen. Maybe he had. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe he hadn't seen a psychologist. I'm not saying that the psychotropic meds are an answer, because all these guys like this dude that do this, an overwhelming percentage of them are either on psychotropic medications or they were on psychotropic medications, and they, stopped taking them. I've been through that with my experience with people with mental illness, is that they think they're doing well. They think they're doing fine. They don't like the way the meds make them feel. They put them down. They stop. Everybody who's had any, been around people with, a condition where that's a necessary medication knows that you don't just pick them up and just pop one and it makes you okay. It takes 2 to 3 weeks to a month, however long, to actually start working. So that's what happens a lot of times. I don't know with this kid. I'm just speculating. I'm just taking a guess. I mean, it's just crazy to think that. I mean, the guy goes in. Maybe he got picked on at school. I don't know. Obviously, he's got no parents around. I don't know what the story is there. There's so much of this story that's just missing. That is, I mean, I see a picture here of the grandfather of that kid. I'm gonna watch that. Like, I don't want to put this stuff out there. I mean, without watching it first, I just it's just a really fucking sad, tragic fucking thing. 2 teachers, 19 kids. 21 people, and him, 22. A couple wounded, and a town, another small town that's going to be, not right. Kids that aren't going to be right. There were kids in that room that survived and had to watch their classmates in 4th grade get murdered by a madman. There's nothing you can do to fix that. There's nothing you can do to fix that for those kids. I mean, I don't even know how you even go about it. I mean, how are they ever going to live a normal life? And so for this kid to have that much hate in his heart to do something like that, because he premeditated it, obviously. And you can't tell me that he didn't think about what he was going to be doing to the community, to these kids' families, to the kids that survived, on top of taking the lives of whoever he was going to take out. He didn't know how many people he was going to kill. I don't believe when he went in there. I don't think he said, I'm going to kill. No. It's just a terrible thing. And the same with that kid that did that in Buffalo. I want to see the manifesto, though. And as I said on the podcast earlier, that it sounded like C-3PO. Being a father of a teenage son, regardless of how terrible this manifesto that this kid supposedly wrote might happen to be, I want to read it because I want to see what this kid was thinking. I want to find out where he was getting this information from. Everybody's blaming 4chan. Well, I've never been on there. I got on there the other night just because I want to look and see what the fuck that shit was about. It's a bunch of dummies. From what I saw, it's a bunch of dummies. There's a bunch of these, a bunch of QAnon weirdos, and I mean, it was nothing. There was nothing that I saw in there that, regardless of what age I might happen to be, would provoke me to want to go into a grocery store and just murder 10 people in cold blood. So they're saying that's the reason for the board of disinformation led by the queen of disinformation. Thank God that thing got put on pause. I doubt that'll ever come back. Better not, anyways. But yeah, so then we got, and then the other queen of disinformation, Hillary Clinton. And Robbie Mook. Boy, old Mook. I don't know. He was he's saying what he had to say. Whew. And knowing what he probably knows. Be interested to see how long he sticks around. Just saying. There's a list of people that have allegedly gone in the wrong direction involving those fine individuals from the beautiful state of Arkansas. Just saying. But there was something wrong about this. There's something very wrong. And this seems to have happened a few times in the past as well, where there's something going on inside of a building and the law enforcement is not going in there. Now, why would you go in there? And like I said earlier on my C3PO podcast, every law enforcement officer that I know in this small town has about the same size, this town. Every one of them that I know would go in there. There's not a doubt in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind that the guys that I know that are on the police force here in Cody, Wyoming would do what they needed to do to protect those kids. I have no doubt. Well, what were these guys doing? Why were they out there trying to calm parents down? That's not their job. They're not social workers. Their job is to go in there and protect those who need protection. To protect and to serve. And if you have to put your life on the line to do so, then that's part of the oath you take as an officer. That goes without saying. As a civilian, if I heard that going on out there, and being an ex-felon that's not even allowed to have a firearm, I would have gone in there and pulled out my fucking knife. I would have taken a bullet for those kids. You're goddamn right. I mean, if I heard that, I live a block and a half from an elementary school. You damn sure better well bet if I heard something like that going on, if I'm going by and I heard something like that, dude, and no one's going in, I'm going in. I don't care. I don't know how you live with yourself. I don't honestly know if this is actually what really happened. I don't know how those guys live with themselves. I don't know if they were told to stand down and they just took orders. That's the other problem with being involved in the military and it's all, well, they justify immoral actions by saying it was just taking orders, just doing what I had to do, doing what I was told. It's this, when you break it down, it's the same concept as voting for the lesser of two evils. If you voted for Trump and you didn't like him, but you couldn't stand the idea of, you thought Hillary was going to be way worse, and it was the lesser of two evils, still evil. If that's what you think. If you voted for Hillary because you couldn't stand the idea of Trump and you didn't really like her that much, but you had to do something, why not just not vote? Your vote, it doesn't matter anyways. You know, it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're going to get the same thing until you get Joe Biden, and then you get this is a. I mean, this guy. I don't even know what planet you put him on. I don't even know if he's still on this planet. I don't even know. I mean, it's crazy to watch that guy. I mean, he does that monster mash. That you guys have seen that Monsters, right? Anybody remember the Monsters or Herman Munster? Remember the way he used to walk around and then big old boots on? He was high stepping it. You know, the guy could have just been mashing toads everywhere. I don't know. I mean, that's how Joe Biden walks. See if we can find it. I keep singing that stupid song from the Family Guy that, you know. Oh, yeah, this is one of my favorite ones where he walks right by the he just keeps right on stepping past the Secret Service guy. This shit's great. I love this one. Gets off the chopper and get some volume. You've all seen it, but this it doesn't get old. It's just like, what in the hell is this guy doing? What'd I do? All right. I think I ate some sawdust or something out there. Got a bunch of it up my beak. All right, here we go. That's a long step there on the bottom. Oh, put your mask. Oh, okay, now he takes it off. The other day he put it on to go down the steps. Oh, nice. Yep, very nice. Yep, okay. Look at that. Look at those steps. Picking them up, putting them down. Look at those knees. And what's he? What's he smiling about? Look at that walk. Who walks like that? Look at that. Picking them up, putting them down, just like Herman fucking Munster. Look at that. Up, down, up. I mean, he's always got that. No one can hear you, Joe. You're under a goddamn hug. Oh, if you put your hand up, then they'll hear you. Look at that. Picking them up, putting them down. What kind of shoes is he wearing? Slippers? Got a purple suit on. What's up with the pallets of shit there? I mean, the president's coming back and look at this guy. He's pointing. He's like, sir, this way, sir. And he backs. It's okay. He's like, he's not listening to me. He's not, okay, I gotta keep, he's not listening. The guy behind Biden is telling him, keep going up there. Where's he going? Nature hike? That's a nice man purse that he has, too. What do you think he's got in there? Probably some gummy bears. Maybe some Fun Dip. A coloring book. I'm just saying. He's a whole different story. Just like Trump was too, I guess. But this guy's establishment, though, and always has been. So I guess he's not totally a different story, but I don't know. I just get a kick out of watching him walk around. It just makes you wonder. It's like, is this like a dude? Is this a guy? Like, what is going on here? You know, and well, I'm gonna do a meme after this tonight because I've got some pretty good photos from the not so distant past and what he looks like right now. Like I've said, he looks like somebody took one of those drop claws from a pizza parlor where you go get a stuffed animal, drop your 50 cents, and then you drop the claw and it hits or it picks the thing up by the ear and you think it's gonna, you're gonna get it and it falls off. He looks like he literally got grabbed on the back of the head with one of those things that didn't let go and just pulled all that skin back and then just stapled, thumbtacked that thing right on the back of his head. Shredded some cotton balls, hot glued them on his dome. Because his hair doesn't, I don't know. They say he got plastic surgery. I guess that's a good way to go. If you hide out in a basement 50 days prior to an election instead of campaigning, and then when you do go to a place, you get like 7 people that show up from the women's quilting club or whatever. It makes perfect sense that you'd get 81 million votes. It makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. I mean, who would doubt that? Why would you doubt that? Why? Come on, people. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. You know, and it's the whole thing is just weird, you know. I mean, we always have these it's just like every day there's something. And there's an answer. There is an answer to all this madness. But nobody wants to hear it, nobody wants to listen to it, and nobody's ready for it, quite frankly. And I don't know. That sucks. We'll get more into that on another day. I mean, I know personally I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer and closer to understanding what you know, what it's going to take to right this ship, because more money not going to do it. You know, shutting down anybody in the middle class and just having 2 classes, the upper class, these upper echelon people. These people, they show up at Davos. These people, most of them have never even driven their own vehicle. Do you understand that? But they fly in on their own plane, and then they get up there and they grandstand about, greenhouse gases, like John fucking Kerry. He was over there. He was babbling about that shit. Why in the fuck are we sending John Kerry around on a private jet? That horse-faced son of a bitch should be hanging out with Sarah Jessica Parker and, I don't know what. He shouldn't have anything to do with any kind of authority, and I don't think he really does. He's just kind of he's just a, I don't know what you want to call him. He's like a thumb that you paint a face on, right? You know, like if I was to, here, let's see. Let's do it, I'm going to do a John Kerry impersonation, all right? Because I am an artist. And then he's got a head that's way up here. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here putting you guys on. He's got them big bushy eyebrows too, doesn't he? But they're not quite that high. I don't know. This is just a fucking Sharpie. I'm not doing a very good drawing. This is not that good. This is not one of my better. There's John Kerry. If you guys like that, let me know. I'll tattoo it on my thumb, just like it is. I'll do it right now. You dare me? I'll do it. You think I'm scared? I don't think so. I'd tattoo John Kerry on my thumb. I'd be like Cartman with Jennifer Lopez. Tacos and burritos. I'd be like, I'm very important and I need to travel in my private jet. Look, I do a pretty good John Kerry, isn't it? Oh, my thumb just cracked too. Anyway, I digress. I thought it was funny. But on the other issues going on, just, if I were you, I would stock up on food that you can actually eat when you're looking at not having any power. When, look at, how are you going to have heat? I mean, I'm planning on keeping quite a bit of these trees and just putting it off to the side just in case. I mean, I'm talking rice, bean, any kind of dry stuff, freeze-dried stuff while you can get it. It sounds like that's going to be a thing of the past here soon, because these companies that make the freeze-dried emergency rations are saying that they're not able to get anything in to make it with anymore. That's kind of sketchy. If you're in a city and you're somebody I love and care about, get the fuck out of there. Come to Wyoming. You can live in my garage or in the job. Anywhere would be better than being in the middle of what's going to happen. I mean, I and this is something I've been saying for a long time, that it's going to get really fucking ugly in the cities, especially when it gets, when you're talking scarcity. People will do whatever they have to do, especially if they got kids and shit like that too. People will go to extreme measures to survive. Anybody ever watch that movie, The Road? Based on the book written by Cormac McCarthy. Now, there's an author you should read if you like reading books. Yeah. All the Pretty Horses, great book. The Road, disturbing book. Really macabre. Great book, but whew, Jesus Christ. Blood Meridian, insane book. Who's read Blood Meridian out there by Cormac McCarthy? Sound off if you have. One of my favorite books of all time. It's one of those books you read it every time you get something else out of it. It's like when you watch Joe Biden get up in front of the microphone. Every time you listen to it, you get something different out of it. Who knows what you're going to get? You could get corn pops. You could get the thing. You'd never know. It's like a goodie bag. Just, this blindfold, reach in. Oh, what did I get? Did I draw the magic? Oh, shit. I want an atomic fireball. Damn it. Oops. I mean, that's where this whole thing's heading. Oh, the other thing, as well. Here's another thing that is allegedly, everybody's talking about the ports in Ukraine on the Black Sea being blockaded by Russian boats. And the Black Sea has got mines, water mines. Is that what you call them? Water mines? Water sippies? They're everywhere out there. Have you seen them when they pulled them up on shore and shit? These things are dilapidated old ass motherfuckers. They're like World War II shit. So my guess is that they in fact are Ukrainian. And my second guess would be that the United States gave them these dilapidated, used up, rusted. I mean, look, we gave them howitzers for fuck's sakes. I mean, Putin had 30 seconds to take one. I mean, that's how slow these things are. By the time you drop a shell, do the thing, move it around, pack it with your whatever. and then they got a guy on the side. It's got a crank. He's got to raise it. They're just guessing, as opposed to the shit that the Russians have. They're just like, oh yes, I see it right there. Hang on 1 second. This would be funny. Kind of sitting there with a rocket launcher. He's got the wind, the angle, the pitch. It just dialed in. Like, hold on, wait for it. Guy pushes the button, boom. Vodka for everybody. I don't know. It's so crazy that this nonsense is going on in a place that nobody even really knew where it was even at. Nobody still knows where it's at. Who out there has, besides my friend Nick, who out there has any kind of a geographic perception of Ukraine? What cities where? Where's this? Where's that? I've been trying to learn, but I still don't have a clue. I mean, I've been looking at, what's the name of the site? I'll have to look it up again. Anyway, I was going to rattle that off, but nobody's listening to me anyways, right? But you listen to John Kerry. Would you listen to John Kerry, please? He has some things to say about why he needs a jet. Oh, look at that. He matches right up with more. Too bad the other part of it says walk. More walk, John Kerry, so start walking. Oh, yes. He's like chin bagging me right now. I don't like him. I'm going to tattoo him on my thumb and put an X through it. For those of you that don't, okay, if I get 20 thumbs ups from all you out there, I will on camera tattoo John Kerry. See, doesn't it look just like him? I'll maybe make him look a little better. Clean him up a little. I will tattoo him on my thumb. All right. So I want 20 likes. How about that? That's the best I can do. Give incentives. I will offer to do something stupid and dumb for 20 likes on YouTube. That's where I'm at right now. Mainly just because I've never done a tattoo on like the inside of my hands. I don't know how they take. I've seen people have them done on their palms and shit. I know that the knuckles don't stay very well. I've had to redo my knuckles over and over. Probably have to do them again tonight. Anyhow, just thinking about this stuff that's going on. Be ready. Be prepared. Don't get caught blindsided here. You know, hopefully it turns out to be nothing. But I don't see that happening because there's nothing that's happened to fix any of it. And that's the issue. There's been no cure for any of this. There's been no action taken to you know, and then we sit there and listen to those idiots on The View. Oh my God. I don't listen to that. No, what's one's name? Oh my God. She looks like Lisa's best friend on Family Guy. Oh, no. I gotta get out of here. Yeah. Is that her name? Yeah. We're gonna get off that. I can't deal with that. Cannot deal with that. Oh no. Anyway, the podcast earlier today was better. This one, I'm tired. Had a long day. Playing lumberjack. You know. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Just I don't like sharpening chains. Anybody want to come sharpen chains? I will hire you for a box of ramen noodles. Straight up. Just kidding. I don't want anybody in my house. Stay away. Stay away. Stay away. Oh, I don't know. Look into it. See what you think. If it's, you know, I mean, really, it doesn't have much of a weight on any of us other than future legislation and shit. And that's why everybody always asks me, why do you get into politics? Why do you look into shit? Why are you always watching? You know, because it's like what happens in politics is what shapes our lives. Like it or not. You don't have to like it, but you should recognize it and understand that these are the things that shape, you know, the next year of our lives, the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, our children's lives. You know what I mean? So by not paying attention to it, you're just allowing it to happen, and you're just being blasé-faire, and you're just, well, you know, who cares? You're complacent. That's my call. Don't be complacent. Like this thing. Subscribe to this thing. If I get 20 of them, I swear to God, I'll come back on here later, and you can watch me grab my tattoo machine, and I will tattoo something even better that looks like, you know, the Cho guy. I'm 100% serious. You'll find out. 20 of you. So if anybody's watching this, forward it to your friends. Say, hey, give it a like. You know? And then you can watch me do this to myself. It's really not going to be that big of a deal. But that's the only one I'm doing. Because I volunteered for it. I won't just do some goofy shit. But right there. The thing is that'll come off. That'll end up coming out anyhow. I don't think it'll stay for too long. Because like when you tattoo your knuckles, you got to redo them over and over. Just because you've got such thin distance between your skin and your bone. And you need to have that kind of fatty layer, you know. So thumbs, fingers, back of the hand, they take a few times. But by golly, you look cool. Anyway, I don't know. I'll be watching. Give me the likes, and you know, I'll put on a show. It's not that exciting, really, but I will tattoo my finger, and it'll be the greatest thing you've ever seen. Especially if I can make it look like John Kerry, because this one looks like John Smoltz. All right, on that note, I'm going to take us out with if I push the right button, it should be The System by Tom McDonald. Great song. Newest one that he's come out with. If you listen to the words, trust me, you'll be down, because this dude is, there's some fire in this thing. So let me make sure I got the right one. Let's go 3, 2, 1. And before I forget, be good at it. In all things, be kind. And do no harm. From 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Cayuga, Wyoming, I'm Mike File, and you've been tuned into the Mike Files, and hopefully I don't sound like a fucking robot. And if I do, none of you are listening anyways, and you're not going to get to see me tattoo John Kerry on my thumb. Sorry, not sorry. Here we go. Later.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left, take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer, because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? You're depressed. Society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue, and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay.